for the win. He got it! If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, October 24th. At least I believe that's the date. I've pretty much had the date wrong all day, so we'll see. We're rolling. It's bye week, so the details are important, but I guess they're not as important. That's probably not fair to say. That's bad to say. We got to win the bye week.
Win the bye week. I know it's tough because I think you said it before we got on the show. Alabama has, we got accused for pumping crowd noise in. They need to be accused of pumping in poison because everybody in Knoxville is sick or doesn't feel well. Sinuses. I don't know what it actually is, but bear with us.
The weather has been crazy, but it's been crazy for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought I was going to, there's always that time period when the weather changes where I, don't feel good for a little bit. I thought I'd, beat it this time. And then here it comes.
You thought you had a win in, midway through the third quarter, and then...
Yeah.
And then it came with a vengeance. It was almost worse this time around. Mm-hmm. We should have prepared. It's our fault. We have no one to blame but ourselves, Landon, apparently.
Yeah, Dylan Sampson ran for 300 yards in the fourth quarter against me. Not feeling great. But, hey, we're here, and that's all that matters.
And I think that's – I saw – I mean, you see all that – you mentioned the crowd noise already, so, yeah, let's talk – I guess we'll talk that during the show for sure. I mean, that is a whole thing. But the guy who got all originally butthurt and then gets mad when other people are butthurt, he what does he say? Are Tennessee fans going to – enjoy, I don't think he used the word enjoy, but how long are they going to hang on to this win? Well, let me tell you, brother, we got a whole week free. We're going to hang on to this one for a very long time.
Yeah, we get 2 weeks to enjoy it. Sorry about that. You have to move on. You get to move on, but we don't have to.
We don't have to. And we're not going to.
No.
It's better because you can get healthy, but it was in terms of I enjoyed it as a fan. As a fan who also wants to see this team continue winning, I kind of wish we had not Kentucky and
UTEP?
UTEP or was it UT Martin 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a UT Martin game to just kind of fully reset, almost get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Because that's a
little hangover game.
Little hangover.
That doesn't
game.
matter.
Yeah. You don't want a hangover game
against a quality opponent.
No,
sure.
The best thing for Vanderbilt, talk about Vanderbilt upsetting these teams this year, and everyone's saying can they beat Texas? The best thing that could have happened is Texas beating Georgia. Now I think that spells trouble in my opinion.
Okay.
Not for Texas, for Vanderbilt. I think
okay.
The upset is less likely to happen now.
Yeah, they're more prepared. They're not going to have another off game.
Right.
Yeah, it's absolute madness in college football, and I know we're going to get to that later in the show. But I think a lot of people thought that with the college football playoff, the regular season would be less important. I think it's more important to more teams, I guess.
It's more important to more teams, and then, excuse me, if you lose one early, I mean, pick a team because all of them have lost early. If you lost early, then the next 7 games, 9 games, 5 games, they don't matter. So now, is every game as critical? No, there's breathing room. There's room for error. But now every single game actually matters.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the same level that every game mattered then before you lost, but they all matter now.
Well, like this week, if you're the number 25 team in the country, the probability of you making the playoffs are slim to none. Well, now the number 25 team in the country, who is it Vandy?
Vandy's 25, yeah.
Okay. I mean, they have a shot I don't know if it's a great shot, but
listen.
technically have a shot.
Good for Vandy. Like, enjoy it. But can we please not forget this team did lose to Georgia State?
They did. And they're going to get beat this week, and it's going to be over.
It would be kind of like I hate Vandy, and I don't want to see them win. I'm never going to chant Vandy. Let's put that out there again, just to be clear. Mm-hmm. It would be pretty funny if they pulled it off. Like, yeah. I would smile. I would smirk.
Yeah. You'd never chant it, though.
No, God, no. God.
But I do think it could be hilarious in 3 weeks. We're talking about this Vandy team that's like going to be like 500.
Sure. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Good for them. What was their win total? 2? 2.5, I think. So 3.
It wasn't very much.
It's going to be absolutely abhorrent how much we.
Well, and they lost the game that they were projected to win.
Yeah. It is madness. It's this college football. I think Vandy probably perfectly encapsulate what college football is this year. Yeah. Like, looking at what they've done. And I mean, Tennessee doesn't win without pumping in crowd noise. So
that's true.
Which also, do we want to touch on that right now? Let me ask you this. There was no shot Tennessee was pumping in crowd noise when A.J. McCarron was playing here.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was a general thought we all had. Also, our operations, they did some good things this week. I don't want to dog them too much. They couldn't get a replay on a Jumbotron. You think they could accurately pump in crowd noise?
True.
Give me a break. Speaking of breaks. Oh, do you have something else?
No, I just think it's the dumbest thing ever. And I hate that Alabama quarterbacks continue to just like make their way on my timeline for stupid ass comments.
Yeah. Agreed. It's the ones that were pre-Alabama quarterbacks being good too.
Yeah, these quarterbacks weren't even
handoff merchants.
Right. Game managers.
Sort of.
Must have been nice handing off to Mark Ingram.
They were assistant to the game manager.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Landon ruined my segue, but we'll try again.
Sorry.
Speaking of breaks, stick with us on the other side of this one. It's More Important Issues on Fan Run Radio.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and
place to be to hear some balls for life talking Tennessee. You can hate us if you want, but we sure ain't worried about you. We got more important issues.
Welcome back into More Important Issues here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Bringing us back in, Levi Ogles. Shout out again, man. Just an excellent. Love the intro. Appreciate him doing that for us. Once again, we're. I mean, I know we've talked about enjoying this Alabama game more and more. Okay. I don't think I've told this story even to you yet, let alone on the podcast or radio at this point. So Monday I get a call from the ticket office because I'm working on getting basketball season tickets. Mm-hmm. And we had been going back and forth. Finally get a hold of each other Monday, and I say, how's it going? Some kind of greeting. He's like, it's been a little crazy around here, but we're kind of just enjoying the win, of course, in the office. And I was like, yeah, that kind of the same around here. Obviously not the same, meaning like you work at the University of Tennessee. I do not. That's what I meant. He goes, oh, don't tell me you're an Alabama fan. I told him, I said, that is the most offensive thing anyone's ever said to me.
And you asked to speak to a manager?
I should have been like, put Danny on the phone right now. But which I guess I was a little serious, but I said it in a joking way, and he backpedaled hard. But I was like, why would I even be calling about basketball season tickets if I was an Alabama fan? So that was weird, and yes, it was I think I should get free basketball tickets now for that.
Yeah.
I think they should have to give me tickets.
This is William M. Butlicker.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that I was asked that, but I am enjoying it. Obviously not the same.
So did you get basketball tickets?
I've forgotten to respond to said email. I'm actually have a phone call with him tomorrow where I will probably buy season tickets, yes.
Okay.
I haven't really gotten to look at the email. This year I'm not going to have good seats, obviously, because I've gotten in so late. But I think I'm just going to get to, and then next year work on upgrading.
What are like season ticket prices for basketball? I don't even know what they are.
So I would be in, I think, $315, which isn't
I'm sure
great seats, obviously, but they're a little over $800 for two.
Oh, for two?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's no. Well, that's the thing is I'm not like don't mishear me and being like Thompson Boyne's trash. I think it's a great arena. I think arenas are just more difficult than stadiums where there are bad seats in arenas.
Yeah,
court's obviously smaller. Like I don't think there's a bad seat in Neyland when you take out the ones that literally can't
obstructive view
where they don't even sell tickets for.
Yeah.
So when you take those out, I don't think there's a bad seat in Neyland. I've sat just about everywhere you can in that stadium, and I don't think there's a bad seat. Are there some better than others? Sure.
Yeah.
But all in all. Whereas Thompson Boyne Arena, I think there are bad seats.
Yeah.
These probably wouldn't be great seats, but I've kind of weighed it, and I've thought I just want to be in the arena for big games and not pay crazy prices. So,
and not have to worry about buying tickets and stuff
right.
like that. Sure.
So I think I'm going to do it and then try to get – because the lower bowl, I think you can get into the lower bowl for like $1,500 for two or just around $1,500, which isn't bad for 17 home games. And
yeah.
I mean, at this point, that buys you 4 Kentucky tickets.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger, I think. I like basketball, and I hate that I don't get to go as often. So,
you got to make it happen.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I get weeknight tickets offered to me pretty often. Those are the hardest games to go to for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'll be a lot better to also have weekend tickets.
Yeah. Well, you'll get to celebrate wins over Alabama, Kentucky, Alabama.
I wonder if we pump in noise to Thompson Boyne Arena as well.
We might. So speaking of Alabama and I rewatched the game. I think you did too, or
I haven't gotten to finish. Well,
I
jumped around the fourth quarter this week, but I haven't finished. Like I didn't finish watching it all the way through.
Okay.
I'll probably will Saturday morning. I would bet I'll watch it again.
So like on your brief rewatch, did you notice anything different that maybe you didn't see in real time, or something that just stood out to you that you probably didn't notice?
I mean, probably not anything I haven't mentioned here because I'd watched most of the game before we did Sunday's recap. I mean, the thing I didn't notice in real time that I want to mention again is I thought the offensive line played much, much better. I think Cole Kubiak.
Kublik?
Yeah. I don't even know what I just said. I think he mentioned it on his kind of like round. He rounds up about all the teams on Sunday night. I think he mentioned that the offensive line didn't necessarily play mistake-free, but they looked a lot more physical. And I agree with that. Like, the effort, you didn't have the Lance Hurden Arkansas play that you had in that game. Did they make mistakes? Yes, absolutely. They were not mistake-free. But I thought they played a lot better, especially if you just watched the second half, you would have thought it was an entirely different offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. There wasn't anything that just like you said, just a horrible effort play.
Mm-hmm.
I think, was it pretty all the time? No, but they gave Nico a chance to escape and make plays with his legs, whereas they just didn't get whooped up front on any given play. And so that was encouraging to me.
And I haven't watched it to see what Alabama did differently, what Tennessee did differently. Do you know why from your rewatch? Like, did you focus on that? Because I did not, my first rewatch. Why did Tennessee struggle so much running the football in the first half? Like, what is it? Just one of those things that Dylan Sampson's going to take? Because I mean, it seems like he's not that. Like, that's probably his worst first half by far, right? Maybe
I mean,
not by far.
it's probably up there, but like against Florida, we didn't run the ball great either. So I think he had 35 yards at the half and ended up, I think he had 104 in the second half. But that's just been Tennessee's MO. It's like, we don't run the ball great, lean on them. I guess defenses just run out of gas and we're healthy. I don't know. I don't understand the formula, but we're winning football games, so who am I to judge?
Absolutely. I'm trying. I mean, I get more and more impressed with this defensive line the more I watch like different players each time throughout it.
Going back to your question though, before we go to defensive line, I think that they try to do what Georgia has done to Tennessee, is play man coverage in the secondary, because you have good enough DBs to do that and load the box.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big reason why Tennessee had so many open receivers. That was my biggest thing on rewatch, is Tennessee had receivers open all night long.
That was mine too, I think. And that's, I think, one reason I think this offense is closer. And I think I mentioned this the other night. I don't necessarily think they're close to being the 2022 Tennessee offense.
Yeah.
But I think they're close to being more effective in the passing game. I think it's getting there. Florida felt really, really close. Alabama felt a touch closer. And I mean, do I feel that way if Nico doesn't hit that ball to Dante Thornton? No. Do I feel that way if he doesn't throw that ball to Chris Brazzell in the end zone? Probably not. But I feel like they're getting closer and closer. And so,
do you think there was just like
I don't know if you heard the quote. Davey Hudson on Voluntary Action Saturday night mentioned it, and I wanted to send it to Austin, but Austin White, for those of you that don't know, is a Kentucky fan, unfortunately.
Also a friend of the pod, though.
Friend of the pod. No. Great guy. He is a Kentucky fan.
Yeah.
But it said if Tennessee, I don't remember if he thought Tennessee's offense was getting there or not, but did go on to say if there's any game for Tennessee to figure it out and then beat the piss out of their opponent, I'm paraphrasing, it's Kentucky. It is. It absolutely is.
That's funny you say that, because I was texting Austin the other day, and he was just like, I was like, offense looked a lot better, and he was like, yeah, they'll probably throw for 400 yards against us next week.
Golly.
So he knows it's coming too. So hopefully, we're speaking into existence. But do you think there was kind of like a monkey on the back? And hopefully you see the offense take another step against Kentucky in this bye week. Do you think there was a little bit of, pressure of being that 2022 offense, because that's all we heard was like it's going to be more like the 2022 offense, and it hasn't been. So do you think there was kind of a panic, or is it just like, hey guys, we're good, like our defense is good enough, you don't have to score 50 points a game for us to win a ball game?
I don't know if that exactly was what is why Tennessee struggled. I think it's a I think it's so many different things at this point. You look at the wide receiver group; they've been banged up. I think there hasn't been the people there that they thought would be there. Sure. So I think that's a big part of it. Offensive line play early on. I think that's a big part of it. Nico maybe not ready, because I think he's played good as a starting quarterback as a redshirt freshman, but ready to be a stud quarterback, for example. He has his moments. I mean, that ball there are less than 5 quarterbacks in the country that could throw that football to Dante Thornton.
Yeah, on a sprint out.
It certainly not the one across the sidelines on Saturday night.
Yep.
Maybe more than 5. You might find more than 5. Not in live play, certainly. So I think it's a variety of things, but I think it's one of those that's like, were my expectations for Nico a little bit too high? Potentially.
Yeah.
But I think he's coming along. I think he's making less and less mistakes. And I mentioned this, like, silver lining of the mistake he made trying to throw that ball to Brew, that probably would have been intercepted as well. That's a different mistake than he's made so far. So it's like he's not repeating the same mistakes. And that's encouraging. Like, you don't want a guy that's just doing the same stuff over and over and over again. So I think there is progress there. I don't know if the 2022 team is as much as the monkey, as it's more of like we can't get it all figured out at the same time. Like, we find one puzzle piece and then the other one falls off the coffee table. Like, it's this constant fitting match that when the wide receivers are getting open, Nico struggles to hit them. When he does, they drop it. When wide receivers run good, the play is right, they run good routes, they're there. Offensive line fails to make a block. It seems like it's not all clicked, and now it's getting closer and closer, and it's clicking on some plays. I think we're getting close.
I also think they tried that short stuff a little bit more to open it up. At least it felt like it. And I don't know if it was just like, oh, we hit some of those or tried it. It just felt like, hey, we can throw it over here to Brew McCoy and let him go pick up like 6 or 7 yards to get the offense going a little bit. Like, that's okay.
I still feel like we don't run that enough.
I agree. I
don't know.
I just feel like we ran it more on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. And maybe so. Maybe we did. I think Tennessee can still do more of that. I also think it's very obvious now, where I think with Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton, they weren't necessarily the best on the move. They weren't necessarily the best on those sprint outs. Now you're going, Nico seems to look more comfortable on those sprint outs. Like, we need to do that more often with him. So I think that's an interesting thing to see how much they use it, because I don't know what is overuse in that. I'm not an offensive genius. Never claimed to be one. Sometimes I'm angry and I yell things out like I think I'm one, but I'm not. So I'm curious to see how much that's used, how much it's effective once it's used more. I mean, he's always going to be able to throw good balls from it, it seems.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's ways to thwart that, if you will.
I mean, it looked like a totally different quarterback from first to second half.
It just takes getting hit one good time, right? Like, getting hit hard. I'll take that back. He got hit pretty good against Oklahoma. So
it's that, but I feel like there is something to the offensive line not just letting somebody go free and you just get drilled. I feel like it's got to be some. Do you have trust in the offensive line? You're able to stay in the pocket and if you're not worrying about them up front, you can make a decent throw.
Well, to your Gaston Moore point, maybe it was nice just to see someone come in. Like, if Gaston Moore had thrown a touchdown, we may never see Nico's confidence flourish.
Sure.
He comes in and throws a bad ball, and this goes into your conspiracy theory. He's like, yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. So what am I freaking out about?
Ultimate team guy, Gaston Moore.
Always. He might throw touchdowns in April and embarrass you, but not in October. He won't embarrass you.
Yeah, gas some more. You're always welcome on this show whenever you're ready.
True. We'll keep talking Alabama a little bit, talk about Tennessee, looking forward to the college football playoff. It's a long season. We'll keep it all going on the other side of the break. Stick with us. It's More Important Issues here on Fan Run Radio.
Spray Foam Genie is the ultimate solution for all your spray foam installation needs. Whether it's an existing home or a new build, Spray Foam Genie offers premium installation services that will keep your property safe and more energy efficient.
On Fan Run Radio. You heard Landon. It gets him fired up for good reason.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know. I'm assuming we still play that at kickoff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I honestly, I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
It's a good kickoff song.
We're about to get it on.
Makes you want to hit somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And not in like I'm going to go make a play necessarily way. Just I am going to go hit somebody. Whoever's in front of me, whoever's in my lane is getting hit. Not me personally. I never would do that, but safety man.
Little wedge buster.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite part about kicking in high school was being on kickoff team. and we had the wedge busters, if you will, is the psychos, and they would do some weird thing together before kickoff, and I was always in the middle of it. They're just like hitting each other, and they yell like wedge busters or something.
Yeah.
Insane. And I was just right there, and I was like, yeah, let's go hit somebody. I'm with you.
Yeah, even though there's like 90% chance you're not gonna.
I made a lot of tackles on kickoff. All right, pushed a lot of guys out of bounds, but also made a lot of tackles.
That counts.
I think I've told you this story. There was it's probably my most embarrassing story. We were playing Morristown East. Malachi something. Malachi Horton.
That's Morristown. He went to Morristown West.
Sorry, not him then. There was another kid, and he was good. He's a good athlete, good returner, and all week, don't kick it to him. Don't kick it to him.
Was it Matt Thompson?
No.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And that was what we were going to do. If just to confirm whichever side, I'd look at the coach. He would tell me, kick it the other way. Good. Set the ball down, get back there, and the guy's music's playing. I guess I better flip the camera to me, and the guy's back here like, calling for the ball. And I'm not supposed to kick it to him. I'm like, oh, you're getting it kicked to.
Oh, there's Mob.
I look at the coach. He signals the other way, and I'm like, no, I know exactly where this ball's going. Right to him. I think he returned it. I made the tackle, but I think he returned it to like our 40.
Pretty far. Dang.
Yeah. So I did, here's the thing about kicking.
That's probably on me, too, because I was definitely on my kickoff team, so I probably missed the tackle.
Here's the thing about a lot of coaches don't know about kickers, so you just say, hey, I tried. I tried my best. And they're like, yeah, okay. They might be mad at you, but they don't know you did it on purpose. And I don't know if Jeff Bryant knows I did that on purpose, and he probably doesn't remember that play. But I did that. Sorry about that. You called the right side. I just kicked it to the.
He called for it.
Kicked it to the guy.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
he basically fair caught it.
He double dogged
if
it.
If we're being honest.
If it was Tennessee playing at Alabama, that's a fair catch.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess we're continuing on this Alabama one just because we're gonna enjoy it, dude.
Oh yeah.
James Pierce, the play he got off, that just incredible timing. He may have been lined up in the neutral zone. How do we not get called for that more? And does that coach, is it like, hey, get in the neutral zone until they tell you to get out?
I guess so. I don't know.
Because we're always in it.
Yeah. We just want the football, baby.
Yeah.
I love it.
And did I send you the play that we got called offsides for because we twitched?
No, you didn't send it to me.
I need to send it to you because I'd like to hear an explanation. I'm not saying it because I think we might be lined up in the neutral zone, but our guy, who was it?
Was it Bailey?
Might have been Dominic Bailey, or it was who was it? Anyways, he doesn't even come out of his stance. He just kind of twitches forward. Offensive line, right tackle twitches, and then they call offsides, which I've never seen. We did not come across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think we did talk about that last show, but yeah, we didn't have a great answer on why.
Also, I don't think we've seen an explanation just talking about official calls for the illegal substitution penalty on Alabama. The player that they shoved onto the field was the 12th player. So, assuming they blew it dead for injury, Tennessee got the snap off, they blow it dead for injury, there were 12 men on the field. That's illegal substitution.
Oh, okay, so they
pushed the 12th player onto the field.
Honestly, good on Alabama for arguing that, because I would have been like, I mean, we didn't do it.
I still don't understand what their argument. We were coming out of a change of possession. We didn't try to hide who we were substituting. We didn't get to the line very quickly. I've never seen a ref stand over a ball after it's been placed on a change of possession.
Yeah, I don't know.
Matt Austin, though.
Is that his name?
That's the rules official for ESPN that comes.
Oh, yeah.
And he disagreed with every call. I don't know if he disagreed with the ones for Tennessee, but he disagreed with just about every single one that went against Alabama. It was insane.
Yeah, I saw. He definitely disagreed with the Boo Carter one.
Which,
James
to be
Spears.
fair,
yeah,
I get. You gotta earn something. You gotta get lucky. You gotta get some calls go your way.
Right.
You gotta have the ball bounce your way. Dylan Sampson's fumble, if it hadn't hit the nose of the football, it would have bounced right back up to him. We didn't get that break. It happens in football.
You also got the ball back and could have went and scored if you really wanted to, but you threw it pick to Will Brooks, so whatever.
You had your chances. You didn't take them.
I think another big thing on this rewatch was, dude, this defense is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's a joy. I mean, when you hear like, especially like high school coaches talk about, hey guys, let's be like one unit out there. I mean, this is like what tape you'd put on to do that, because this team loves. I think they have like Rodney Garner has some sort of whiteboard somewhere where it's a tally sheet of who was in the backfield first on that play. It seems like that with the D line, and I look at that interception by Jermod McCoy, and the first reaction is not, oh my God, he just made a one-handed interception in the end zone against Alabama. It's like, let's go freaking score. Jacoby Thomas hits Ryan Williams. You have Jason Jenkins and Bryson Eason leading the way. I just think like this team is having so much fun being that good. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, and I did not realize until that I'm blanking on his name. Bill, he does the sports information for the football team, I think.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Skyview camera, I did not realize how freakish. I knew that interception was impressive, but how freakish that interception was.
Oh yeah,
full extension, one-handed grab. Love it. I do. Okay, this defense is phenomenal. I'm not dogging them. If our linebackers were a little bit better in pass coverage, they might not get 10 points scored a game on them.
Yeah, what is it right now? I think they're fourth in the country. It's 11 point something.
I love it. I don't know what it is.
Crazy.
I love it. They're gonna get in. Arkansas scored 19 points. That's what sucks. I don't remember what I was listening to. That was like,
we let them score 19 points too.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. It was like, was Arkansas the best thing for Tennessee? Well, it still depends. Like it could be, but it depends. Because if you could beat Arkansas on the road, knowing what we know now, you could have still beat Alabama at home. So I don't want to use that terminology yet, but I also go back to the point you said, you brought it up on the show. If you guaranteed a Florida and Alabama win, would you take an Arkansas loss? With how good this defense is, I don't feel like I should have to live in a world where I have to choose. I don't.
I agree with that.
I get I'm asking a lot.
Yeah. Also, James Pierce.
Next year, if I would take an Arkansas loss at home for a Florida win on the road and Alabama win on the road.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna apparently we just lose to Arkansas anyways, so just we'll sacrifice that.
Yeah, whatever. James Pierce is a guy who like I'm so sick and tired of people talking about him and being like, oh yeah, he just doesn't have the stats. Guys, he's on the best defensive line in the country, and he's the best defensive player on it. So what are we talking about?
It's also one of those things that for awards and stuff, sure, look at the stats, whatever. That's what they're for. But when you're talking about his draft potential, if any of these scouts are watching box scores, they're going to get Dalton Connect. Like, they're Dalton connected.
Yeah.
They're going to have guys like Charles Barkley dogging them first week of the season. So, whatever. Is he going to win all the awards this year? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not unless – but, I mean, his stats also aren't bad.
Yeah, especially in these last, 3 games. I mean, he's showed out.
When you look at this last year, too, because everyone's wondering early on, where's James Pierce? When you look at his conference stats versus non-conference, drastically different in the sense that the dude shows up to play SEC ball.
Yeah.
And that remains the case this year.
Yeah, and he also didn't really play against NC State a whole lot. Didn't play against Chattanooga. Didn't play against
he plays in the South.
Kent State.
Well, NC State was in the South. But they're the ACC. That's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, he just his impact is going to be known in SEC play on third down in a hostile environment. That's where James Pierce is showing out. So, yeah, I just don't understand. I mean, there was a couple weeks back, it was like, yeah, James Pierce is no longer a first-round draft pick projection. What?
Right.
I mean, we just forget last year even happened. Fluke. Right. It's crazy.
This defense is really good. I think, what is Tennessee rated on? Someone shared it. Rated 79, this defense, on the latest college football game.
Yeah.
Will they amend that mid-season? They should.
Well, I mean, they're giving player boost. That
True.
would increase stuff, right?
Sure, I hope.
So, yeah, I would think.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah.
What more do you have for Tennessee? Because I do want to talk about speaking of boost, I do want to talk about the noise boost. I just want to say really, I mean, we can talk about it, but I really just want to say one thing.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else for Alabama other than
I'm not smoking. I feel terrible. I'm not smoking a cigar again this weekend just to feel something.
I mean, we're 6-1, 5-1,
6-1.
6-1. Feels good.
Listen,
And this is where you wanted to be. Like, you're exactly where you needed to be in this position to have a chance at the college football playoff.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people like, oh, well, they're going to need some help getting in at 10-2. Guys, we don't have 2 losses.
right?
And let's just, I mean, yeah, Georgia is a good football team, but also they are unbeatable.
No, not by any means. And I mean, when you may quote unquote need some. You're not going to need help getting in at 10-2 if it comes down to that. You're going to need the committee to favor your wins and losses. And that loss, one of those losses is going to suck. One of them, if you have to, the other one's going to be to a top 5 team on the road. Probably will be the number 1 team. Potentially could be the number 1 team at that point.
Yeah.
So you're going to have those. And I mean,
let's look at some other SEC teams. So let's look at Ole Miss. They have 2 losses right now. One is to LSU, and one is to a terrible Kentucky team. If Tennessee were 10-2 with losses to Georgia and Arkansas, who has a better resume? That's Tennessee. Alabama, if they went out, their losses are to Tennessee, Dunn, and Vandy. God. Hate that.
And Alabama and LSU could potentially be 11-1. They could also be 10-2 with a loss to either A&M or Alabama. Like there's still a lot of craziness. That
LSU plays Alabama next week.
Yeah.
So
they have a tough go of it for sure. I'm not as worried about the playoff outlook as I think it's kind of dumb to worry about it now because, like you said, they don't have 2 losses anyways. Do I think Tennessee is going to beat Georgia? Not particularly, but similar to Alabama, I think they have a really good chance right now. Like what we know right now, I think Tennessee has a chance. They're gonna be in that football game, in my opinion, for 4 quarters. Knowing what I know right now.
yeah, I mean, Georgia has struggled with teams with good defenses, and Tennessee will be the best defense they face.
And if not, we'll throw trash on the field and get calls reversed.
Exactly.
So
do that. Yeah.
We'll do what we have to do. We do whatever it takes. On the note of the pumped-in crowd noise, I really like using logic. So let's logic. So he walks back the comment. Chris Stewart.
Sure.
Also, sounds like a terrible NASCAR driver. Like that's like, yep, Chris Stewart wrecked again, right? Maybe Tony. I don't know. Tony was a good driver, but bad person, right?
Bad person. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So he walks back the comment. He says, I misspoke, which sounds like he's going to apologize. He said, what I should have said is they amplify their crowd noise. They pump it in through, they mic the crowd and pump it in through the speakers. And then he had Alabama fans coming on, even a guy that I think's a beat writer for Alabama, who's like, yeah, I heard it. It comes in through the speakers. Let's logically think about this for a second. Assuming Tennessee does that. Let's say in a world Tennessee does pumping, amplifies crowd noise through the speakers that are on the field. For it to be enough to affect anything, to change anything, which why would they do it if it didn't? You would hear a very, very noticeable difference when the PA announcer was talking than when he stopped. So it's that thing. Crowd noise, for you to be able to hear the announcer at all, The crowd, and I could being close to the field. I could hear music coming from those speakers where I couldn't in section L, row 46. So logically doesn't track. And then you have everyone that's not Tennessee related. Josh Pate, Cole, I'm going to mess up his name again.
Cole
Kublik. Saying, yeah, I was down there, never heard stadium noise coming from the speakers. And I don't know if you've been around big speakers, like massive. You can tell they shake. You can hear and feel when something's coming out of them. You can feel it in your head when something's coming out of them. So logically, just there's no
it's
evidence.
a little staticky when it comes out.
Yeah, and so it was pretty amazing that he walked it back, and then classic. He should run for like a state Senate seat, I think. Because that was a classic politician. Like, I mean, I shouldn't have said that, but what I should have said was, and then he says something equally dumb. And I'm not so much like, he wants to pretend, and maybe there are Tennessee fans that are offended by it. I'm not offended by it. As a Tennessee fan, I'm not offended. I should say that. I'm offended as a human being at how stupid he is. I'm offended that someone that is from the same species as me is that dumb, and that then we also allow him to speak into a microphone.
Yeah, it's one thing if you say it and you're saying it probably out of frustration, and then you come back later and be like, yeah, that's not true. But the double down is crazy.
The double down was pretty nuts. It wasn't a good double down, folks, either. Like, he walked it back. If you're going to double down, I would respect you more if you came out and said, yeah, they do it. I've heard it. I've been there. I have inside information. They told me they do it. They've been doing it for years. Double down. Be a man. Say it with your chest.
You know what's also hilarious, though, is, I mean, it's kind of a testament to that crowd. Because they're like, there's no way they were that loud on their own. They had to pump in crowd noise for it to be that loud.
Right. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, for sure. But also, I mean, I've been in big games, sellout crowds that just don't have that juice. I think Kentucky 2 years ago is a great example of that. That interception by
Nico Slaughter. Or Juwan Mitchell.
Yeah, Juwan Mitchell. It got really loud.
Your family, right?
Family. My nephew. It didn't touch a second of that Alabama game, and it got really loud in that moment.
Yeah,
it's like that would have. I mean, that run up to that defensive play probably would have been a great time to pump in crowd noise. They were in the red zone. Well, I don't know why we didn't do it then.
Yeah,
and also we talked about this Wednesday on the Chase Thomas podcast. Whoever's working those hotkeys, they're doing a phenomenal job. If it's piped in, they're excellent at their job.
Yeah.
Raise. Danny White, give him a raise. I did tweet this, and I think the SEC does need to go to Tuscaloosa this weekend for a visit. They're at home this weekend, right? Yeah, against Missouri. Sounds like a lot of I've learned that when people do this, double down, make a real big stink about it. He's like, how would anyone go back and hear that? You said it on a recorded broadcast. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And then said it again on the radio.
And then double down.
And then double down on the radio. Like, you didn't say this in your private home. Like, what are we doing?
Well, that's the thing is, like, you can say, like, oh, my bad. Like, they do not. I misspoke.
I shouldn't have said it. You just have the misspoke thing is even funnier.
Like, I said a billion words during that broadcast.
I can't be responsible for all of them.
Yeah, those 10 words that came out of my mouth were the dumbest ones of the night.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's okay with that. But doubling down is... After people that were like you said, Gold Kublik, guys like that, or like,
here's the thing, though. He doubled down on like 17 or 16. Like, he didn't even double down in a smart way. It was a bad double down. It was the softest double down of all time, because he did try to walk it back at first, and then was like, no, it's so dumb. I'm offended by his stupidity. I am. It's simple. I hate to say that I am from the same species as that person.
I mean, Alabama's having, like, their whole program. Oh, it's crazy. They're in shambles.
Is it what's his name's fault?
Ron Williams for painting his nails.
Different guy.
Okay.
Roll Tide Willie.
He did hump the mascot before the season. So
Which mascot?
Al.
He humped his own mascot?
Yeah. Have you not seen that video?
I don't know if I want to.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Alabama was never the same after they let Roll Tide Willie into the complex.
Well, I think you're on to even more. I think it's about probably sexualizing Al.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
He didn't deserve it.
No, I'm not a fan of Al myself, but he didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is like...
There was probably a pretty young person in that mascot suit. It's funny to me that people don't think about there are people in those mascot outfits.
Yeah. Well, the Oregon Duck, did you see it got like knocked over and the head popped off?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And he was like scrambling on the field to pick it back up.
Yeah, poor guy.
But yeah, I Roll Tide Willie. I just think it's so obvious, and we kind of knew that.
I didn't think it'd fall apart this fast, this easily.
It's just not.
But I also didn't expect him to lose to Vanderbilt. So
it's not Nick Saban's Alabama.
It's,
and DeBoer might end up being a good coach, but right now, like Alabama fans are just like, I mean, they think Kalen DeBoer right now is our Butch Jones.
I don't know if he's that. Maybe he is.
To them, I mean,
Right.
going from what they had to what they're to losing to Vanderbilt.
But everyone saw this coming, and I will say, I thought he would be. I'm shocked at how bad he is in game.
Yeah,
I thought he'd be better. I didn't think they'd lose to Vanderbilt. I thought they could still lose to Tennessee. I thought they could lose to Georgia. They beat Georgia, which they also were on cloud 9 when he beat Georgia. So don't let them pretend they knew all along. But they should have. Like you follow a legend. It's usually not great.
well, and I think when Nick Saban left, obviously there was blood in the water, and people smelled that.
Yeah.
But the reason why Alabama was so feared is because they're like robots. Like you couldn't get in their head, and now you have, social media blowing up about crowd noise. You have, receivers painting their fingernails orange after they lose to Tennessee. You have receivers in a run for no gain don't even run a route or attempt to block and do a
He did not
fade away.
He did not miss a block though.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
He didn't. To be fair, he didn't. He might not have attempted to block, but
he
he
did
didn't
not
miss
attempt
it.
to block. Yeah.
He didn't miss it. Yeah, that's a lot of. It's good to see someone besides Tennessee just go to the loony bin. It's nice.
Would you see where now they're going back to tucking in shirts and being on time?
Good for them.
You waited till now to start like being on time to things?
Listen, as someone who is habitually not on time, you never fix it. So just don't even try. Don't even commit yourself to it. Just say every time, it's either for me, I'm either like 30 minutes early or I'm late. So just try to be 30 minutes early. Drop this on time stuff.
Yeah.
And you're still not going to be on time every time. You're still going to be late, but try.
Smoking cigars before the game?
Have we found out who that guy is?
A fat guy.
Fat guy in a little coat. Yeah, bad look. I told Sam, my brother, he's not coaching certainly. He tried to smoke a cigar at the tailgate. I said no, can't do that. He said I've smoked one for every game but Arkansas, and then I lit it up for him. He is a cigar smoker. I would assume that guy doesn't normally walk into football games smoking a cigar.
Oh, Sam's a smoker, huh?
Yeah, chain smoker.
Like Chief Keef?
Probably. Probably. Guys, this is we're going to pick this back up in the top of the hour. Make sure you stick with us. We're going to talk a little more football.
Playoffs.
Talking about playoffs. We'll do it all on the other side of the break. It's more important issues here on Fan Run Radio.
Spray Foam Genie is the ultimate solution for all your spray foam insulation needs.
Come on over. Yeah, I'll finish it out for you guys. Such a good song. Such a good song. We're talking a little bit of playoffs here. Playoff picture, playoff hopes. Is it next week or the following that we get the first 2024 college football playoff poll? They're going to
Is
put
it week 8 or
I don't know. Now
or is it week 10?
You've stumped me.
Is it week 10?
You stumped me. I don't know.
That'd be like the end of October, so that would make sense. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, college football doesn't make sense. Why would that make sense?
I haven't done the playoff predictor. Where are we at percentage-wise? I haven't played with it this week.
66.7%.
Seems low. Yeah. All right, now I'm feeling sad about the playoffs. I said I wasn't. Now I am. Why are we talking about this?
I think it's because Tennessee has the 25th strength of schedule left.
Yeah, but how many teams that are going to be sitting 10-2, 11-1 have a better one? Like, there can't be that many that have a better strength of schedule, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's low. Like, 25th in terms of, like,
They think we're gonna lose.
toughest schedule. Yeah.
I'm not saying the Vanderbilt game won't be tough. I don't see that defense letting
Pavia
run all over.
Well, does that man? I mean, this isn't. I hope this doesn't happen. But how realistic is it to have a quarterback run it 20 times, make it through the SEC schedule?
I'm impressed he's still doing it right now.
Yeah, I know.
So I really don't know how to answer that because I'm shocked that's currently happening.
I think it's safe to say Syracuse is out of the hunt after this game.
Has it got out of hand?
It's 30-0 in the second quarter. 31-0. Sorry, they just kicked the extra point.
Oh yeah. Thank you for waiting. See that completed before you announce that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like it's kind of like dumb to worry about it because there are some tougher games. I mean, I don't see Tennessee losing Kentucky, especially in Neyland, but Tennessee will have their fair share of challenges in that game. You obviously have Georgia on the road. I do think, I mentioned I think it'll be a game for 4 quarters. I do think at 10-2 with all the teams that could be 10-2 at the end of the year, I do think it's important to win that game. Or if you lose that game well.
Mm-hmm.
I know believe me, Saturday night after we lose that game, Monday after we lose that game, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to look for moral victories, but when it comes to playoff time and when it comes to who's going to be where, I would rather look at that game and go, that loss isn't going to hurt you as much as a loss on the road to Arkansas, an unranked Arkansas.
Yeah.
I'd rather just win the game and not worry about it.
I mean, it would. I think I already, like, I don't know why I get on weird TikTok dives about, like, sports accounts, and they did, like, a rundown on Tennessee, and they picked Vanderbilt to beat Tennessee, and I'm like, that would be
based on what?
Because they scored more points against Alabama is literally the only argument
they
gave
had. Up 35. What are we doing?
I don't know.
They lost to Georgia State. They took a Virginia Tech team.
Well, hostile environment. I mean, Joe Klatt literally, like, had a full-on segment about how Vanderbilt celebrates better than Tennessee.
Joel Klatt is the second dumbest human alive currently.
Number 1?
That Chris Stewart guy.
Okay.
Bad NASCAR driver.
There's also the bookie guy. I tweeted the video last night. Did you see that?
I don't know if I did.
Okay. Oh, I can play it real quick.
Sure.
This is going to be a stupidities, but
I was going to use Joel Klatt as a stupidity as well. So I mean, By all means.
Quarterbacks. Alabama's got better quarterbacks. Alabama's got better receivers. Alabama's got a better coach. The Alabama offense, pretty much, they can score on demand, right? And I think the Tennessee offense really can't. And I don't think the environment will bother them. They've been there many times, and Kalen DeBoer's record is incredible against, big teams. So I think Alabama gets the job done. And I think Alabama will be focused.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. That was quite literally the worst take of the week.
Yeah.
Which, going into it, it wouldn't have been crazy to throw out Alabama's offense is probably going to score more than Tennessee's able to. But to lay it out how you did, buddy, it ends up being the worst take on planet Earth.
You know what my favorite part about it was? Is he responded and said...
To you?
Yeah.
To your tweet?
Well, it was...
You commented on TikTok?
Somebody said, "Who is this?" And I guess they posted, and I just said, an idiot. And he responded to that. And he said, "LOL, you may want to check my resume, bud." He budded me.
Well, what I know of your resume, 0-1.
He said, "But congrats on your victory lap. I'll come check in after the Georgia game." And I just said, "Your resume, Alabama has better quarterbacks, X. Alabama has better wide receivers, X. Alabama has a better coach, X. Alabama's offense can score on demand, X. The environment won't bother them, X."
Did he respond to that?
He did. He said,
Okay.
"Buddy, if you think Nico is better than Milroe, you better go check the Heisman rankings." Since the Heisman is just the end-all, be-all of everything.
Also, that. But you said they would win the game because of that, and Nico threw more touchdowns, correct? No, he threw one. Nico definitely had more rushing yards. I would wager his percentage was better. I haven't seen it yet, or I don't remember off the top of my head, I should say. Did I say he had more rushing yards? Because he had to have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had 11. Ugh. Jalen Milroe did. Ugh.
Jalen Milroe had 2 picks.
Jalen Milroe had 2 picks. One that lost the game for him. Jalen Milroe was 25 of 45, and I don't think he hit a single player on the run. So.
And how many pre-snap penalties did Alabama have? I mean, the environment won't affect them is hilarious.
Also, just take your L. You lost. You just take your L.
Also, this guy gets paid. People pay him to put in bets.
Yeah, I wonder how he does, actually. I'm curious.
But then he goes on, "Nico sucks. You know it as well. 1 touchdown in 4 games. Congrats. Come back when Georgia stuffs you in the dumpster." I said, the only thing that sucks is your prediction.
Okay, but here's the thing. He's saying, "I'll come back after the Georgia game." No one is going to sit here and go, Tennessee has better quarterbacks. Tennessee has better wide receivers. Tennessee has a better coach. Tennessee has – that environment's not going to affect them. No one's saying anything as obviously stupid as you say. Yeah. Take your L.
Yeah.
Take your L. I'll take my L. I thought Alabama would score 30 or just around, right at 30. I'll take my L. It's not that I didn't believe in this defense. I thought this offense would produce more. I thought this defense would be put in bad positions. They were. And I thought they would struggle because of that. They didn't. I'll take my L. This defense is elite. I didn't believe in them. Fully believe in them. It's my fault.
Yeah. Hey. They're here to make you look better.
Sure. I don't have anything else for the playoffs, which we kind of got away from that for a minute. You want to hit on anything else, or we good over here?
Yeah, I do think it is a big week when we're talking about college football because, obviously Missouri and Alabama. I don't think Missouri gets in. I think they're not really good, and I don't think Brady Cook's going to play this week.
Their schedule's got to keep them out.
Yeah.
They're going to be, at best, they're going to be 10-2. Their schedule's got to keep them out.
Yeah.
If anyone's schedule keeps them out.
But Missouri, Alabama, that's a loser is out. Because if Alabama loses, that's 3 losses, you're out. Missouri, if they have 2 losses, they're out because, like you said, that schedule is terrible. Syracuse Pitt, I thought would be like it did have some, ramifications on see who could be a team competing for the ACC. I guess it's going to be Pitt. The winner of Pitt, Clemson, and Miami, I guess, are going to get in.
Yeah.
I guess at most you could see 2 of those teams get in.
Right.
But I think it would have to be Clemson or Miami. Or Clemson and Miami. I don't think like all.
I mean, depending on what the records boil down to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if one's undefeated and one has 1 loss, I guess they're.
Yeah, they'll both. Yeah.
Yeah.
One that doesn't affect Tennessee, but Boise State UNLV playoff game.
That's tomorrow night, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
In Vegas, I believe.
Oh.
Yes.
What's the line on that?
Boise -3.5. Okay, I love Ashton Genty, but I've seen multiple high school running backs stand like him, and it's infuriating. You don't get to stand like Ashton Genty till you run and score like Ashton Genty. Sorry. Doesn't get to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, there's really, I mean, you got LSU and Texas A&M. Oh, wait a minute.
You forgot one.
I forgot one. Notre Dame Navy.
Yep.
Notre Dame Navy, baby. This is elimination game for Notre Dame. That's another team. If they're 10-2, you have to remember that they lost to Northern Illinois. I don't know how people have already forgotten they lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, they're out.
They're done if they're 10-2.
They also got to play Army in a few weeks too.
It's a bad year to hate America.
I mean, if they do beat Army and Navy in their best season of all time, I think you have to. There has to be a story out somewhere. Does Notre Dame hate the troops?
I think just playing them, both teams. I think that's pretty damning evidence myself.
Okay. Just putting them on the schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One, sure. I mean, I bet they tried to schedule Air Force. They're like, we're going to beat them all.
Well, then both those teams will play back-to-back, right? Navy and Army will play the last week, and then they'll play again in the conference championship, correct?
They'll play, I think it's
as long as they're.
I think it's conference championship and then the Army Navy game.
Oh, really?
I believe, right? Isn't that how the schedule goes?
I don't know.
I'd have to look. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that game also is not a disqualifier. It's essentially an exhibition game, if I understood correctly.
Oh, really? So it doesn't. If they're in the playoff, like that game has no effect on if they make it or not.
If I understood it correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. It would not be a qualifier nor disqualifier.
Interesting.
What if they were both playoff eligible and they boycotted the Army Navy game?
Just like, see you soon.
Yeah.
We'll play after the season.
We'll save it for the playoffs.
I like that.
It would be kind of crazy for the team that was in the playoffs to play their best player during that game.
Yeah.
But some things are bigger than sports, like our country. So maybe they do it for the country.
Did you know there is a trap game in here?
What is that?
Washington, Indiana.
Give me the Hoosiers. Give me Kurt Signetti.
Indiana's not starting their starting quarterback. Steven Jackson.
Give me Kurt Signetti.
Okay.
He didn't say he wins if he has a starting quarterback. He didn't say if he wins if everybody's healthy. He didn't say – he just said he wins. And his resume – check his resume, guy. Check his resume. His resume is real. And he wins.
They also have the easiest schedule of all time.
Well, sure. They're in the Big Ten.
Oh, my gosh. Can I read their schedule?
Go for it.
FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska is who they played so far.
It would be interesting to see their difficulty of schedule matched up with their roster talent. Because I bet if you did it that way, it's probably still a pretty tough schedule. And I'm not saying that should get them brownie points.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's remember this is Indiana. That's it. I believe in the SIG.
I'm in.
We should, well, maybe not if both of our throats are still on fire, but we should smoke cigs if they beat Washington. You should. How much you believe in this trap game? I think you have to smoke a cig if Indiana wins for Kurt Signetti.
How about if they cover the spread?
8, 7?
Yeah, 6.5.
Oh, 6.5? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
I guess I'll smoke one if I have to if they lose.
Darn.
Yeah, that'll suck. I really don't want to do that. Please win. I'll smoke with you if they win, if they cover.
But big 2 weeks for is next week Ohio State, Penn State?
Yes.
And
no, they're the first weekend of November.
Okay.
That's the whiteout game. Or no, is tomorrow the whiteout game? Or Saturday. Today's Thursday. Is tomorrow or is next week the first week in November?
It is,
I'm
yeah.
Losing it, yeah. Okay, so it is next week.
Next week, and then the next week is Ohio State, Indiana.
Speaking of trap games,
Uh-oh.
the Big Ten could get wild. I pray for it.
And then Iowa State plays Texas Tech this week. Texas Tech's 5-2. Iowa State
6-0, 7-0. What are they now?
I think they're 6-0.
They were 5-0 for the first time since 1948. So when have they ever been 6-0?
I don't know. I want to know who. I guess BYU does not play this week, correct?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do.
They play UCF.
Oh, that's right. Trap game. I just love that we're trying to label everything a trap game.
Nah, I won't trap that game. No.
What do you think the cheapest ticket you can get in the top 25 teams?
Cheapest of the top 25?
Yeah.
It's probably, if it wasn't the Syracuse Pitt game tonight.
Maybe we already did this. I think we already did this.
We haven't talked about this. You and I?
Oh, maybe it was me and Joey talked about this.
Okay. If it wasn't the game tonight, probably Florida State at Miami?
No.
No? SMU at Duke?
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
$13. Okay, what's the next one then?
I think I'm shocked it's not Florida State Miami. Oklahoma Ole Miss.
It's BYU UCF at 17.
Wow.
You want to know the next one?
Yeah.
This is how you know this team is in shambles. It's Alabama, Missouri in Tuscaloosa. $22 will get you in.
Nick Saban would have had a fit in front of the media. What did he say? He would have been eating them out. If that was the case.
Been with a lot of guys too.
When is he going to take over? I guess he's just enjoying Pat McAfee that much. I don't know, man. I'm shocked. I thought it would have happened by now. I think
he's like, I just enjoy so much that I don't have to explain what lank is to people anymore.
Someone made a good shirt. Lost again or lost another in Nashville and Knoxville. That's what lank means. I said on the Chase Thomas podcast that Alabama and Memphis had to play in a bowl game. Sealed the deal.
I like that.
Yeah. We've got a little bit more college football to talk about. We've got some more Tennessee football to talk about. Talk about the recruits.
We did forget a game.
Go for it.
Texas Vandy.
Yeah, I figured we weren't done.
Oh, okay.
It's only 9:30.
Okay.
Stick with us on the other side of the break, guys. It's more important issues here on Fan Run Radio.
Spray Foam Genie is the ultimate solution for all your spray foam insulation needs. Whether it's an existing home or a new build, Spray Foam Genie offers premium installation.
is More Important Issues here on Fan Run Radio. Let the band play Freebird. Let the band play Neck. Let them play, you know what? Let the band play whatever they want.
Yeah.
If it's crowd noise, let them play crowd noise. Just let them play. By God.
I'm in.
If I'm Tennessee, I'm taking... You know how basketball teams now like walk out with speakers? I think Tennessee does that too.
They walk out with speakers?
You know, like big old speakers.
Oh, like the baseball team did?
Yeah. I'm taking a speaker to Tuscaloosa next year, and it's just going to play crowd noise.
I like that. Mine's going to play Yaglo.
I think we should just play crowd noise at the tailgates from now on.
I'm down for that, yeah.
Just keep it going. Any other? I mean, I know you were dying to talk about Texas Vanderbilt. There's no way Vanderbilt pulls it off. There's no way.
It's at home.
Oh yeah, that crowd will be going.
They play all their tough games at home.
Is the SEC? Are they Vanderbilt? Are they pro Vanderbilt now? Are they? Maybe this is a preemptive move to Nashville for the offices. Maybe they're leaving Birmingham. Getting ready for that Vanderbilt loving.
They played at Georgia State, lost, at Missouri, lost. The only road game they won was Kentucky.
Which is, I wouldn't have cared who won that game. Didn't care. Didn't really enjoy that Vanderbilt won it. It's pretty funny though.
Oh yeah, 20-13. What an ugly affair.
That should have been a letdown for Vanderbilt. That should have been a letdown game, and Kentucky just couldn't hop on it.
Yeah,
couldn't do it. I do feel like, I don't know, maybe coming off a loss it's different, but it feels like I'm not going to bet on this game. If I was, though, like 18.5, taking Vanderbilt to cover that feels pretty good. Feels pretty safe.
I don't know. Is this a get-right game for Texas?
Who's Texas starting?
I don't know. That was such a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
You saw from Oklahoma early in, like when they played Tennessee, they saw that freshman quarterback. They're like, oh, he can run a little bit. We should start him. And it's been a disaster. Because Tennessee was playing a bunch of guys that wouldn't normally play at that point at linebacker. And he's like, oh, he can run a little bit. Yeah, let's play him.
Yeah. It was a weird change, and I feel like you have to go back to Ewers, but I don't know how you handle that. Neither's played exceptional at this point.
Right.
The last few games. Yes, last week, whatever.
I mean,
I don't know.
The quarterback to start the year was Ewers. Like Carson Beck looked horrible against Alabama, looked horrible against Texas early in that game. I mean, you didn't see them go to somebody else.
Right.
If his last name wasn't Manning, would we even be talking about this?
Probably not. That's what happens when your dad has a big hat. Comes with big responsibilities.
Well, you saw the guy with big hair, too. I want to see that guy in Cooper's hat.
That was some crazy hair. That was impressive. Good head of lettuce on the kid.
That needs to be like on a Sports Clips ad or something like that. It's like, don't be this guy. Get a haircut.
Who do you think Stanford plays in the ACC this week?
Oh.
They don't have to travel again.
Boston College.
No. Wake Forest. They had some gold in there. They were close.
Okay.
I think I say you're close every week. I find a reason for you to be close. You were closer to Wake Forest than Stanford is location-wise.
That's true. Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
That's important. Cincinnati and Colorado, big conference matchup. I like that Dion is spinning it now as that they're taking care of business quietly. And it's like, I think people just don't care about you anymore, bud. But cool.
Yeah. What is their record?
5-2. They're in the playoff hunt, man. Don't forget them. Speaking of teams in the playoff hunt, two big teams playing tomorrow night that are no longer in the playoff hunt, Rutgers and USC. Rutgers, what happened? That meme needs to be played on repeat. I mean, week 3, everyone was like, see, Tennessee, Shiano, you messed up. I haven't heard that lately. Is it 3 straight losses?
Is that right?
3 straight losses. Nebraska, Wisconsin, UCLA. 3 straight losses. Also, I think it was Barstool ranked wherever they're at in New Jersey as a better tailgating scene than Knoxville.
Where is that? Something.
Yeah, you're close. I know what you're saying. Piscataway. Yeah. Piscataway, New Jersey. I mean, that's crazy town. That's a worse take than number 7 in the SEC game day environment. That by far.
That guy came up to me at work the other day. He's like, "Hey, I heard you're talking about me on your podcast. You won't even let me come on and defend myself." I was like, "There's no defending what you said."
All right, tell him this. If he feels so passionately about it, if he's willing to be a man, unlike Chris Stewart, write me a report. You can just, I'm not going to put a limit on it. However long, defending your position with tickets to said games that are in front of Tennessee to prove it. And if it's good enough, we'll bring him on.
Okay.
If he defends the position well enough, we'll bring him on. But we get to decide who does and doesn't come on this show. So
yeah,
if he wants to come on the show, let's see it. If it's 10 pages, I'll read it.
Might have like
I'll have a highlighter and red pen.
lasagna stain or something on it on that piece of paper.
Big lasagna guy?
Oh yeah.
You or him?
Him.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I have to write it or he has to
No,
write
he
it?
has to write
Okay,
it.
I was
just
I'm
confused.
not writing anything.
I was just confused. So
No.
yeah, I'm willing to let him on.
Okay.
I would.
I hear enough of him at work. I don't think I could take it here, honestly.
I would legitimately like to hear the explanation. He's an Ohio State fan, correct?
Yeah, I would like to see you two just like battle it out. Like that would be great content. I want to stay out of it because I'll tell him he's an idiot and leave. Whereas like you are very different. You will tell him why he's an idiot.
Maybe I'll be shocked. Maybe he'll have good reasoning.
There's no reasoning though.
You're right. Not number 7. No. And that's that too. He can't change his rankings now. Like he can't be like, oh well, they're number 6 actually. No, he's got to now defend number 7.
I think the other day he's like, I mean, what do you want me to do? Like put him at 5? I'm like, stop.
No, see he's already backing down.
After the Arkansas game, he started as soon as I walked in. And I was like, I don't want to hear anything from you, okay? Nothing bad happens to you. And if it does, it's once a year. I don't want to hear it.
Did he go to Ohio State?
No.
Is he from Ohio?
Yeah.
What part?
Beats me.
A lot of action teams he could have cheered for growing up.
Toledo?
Toledo's one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
It's just real convenient to be an Ohio State fan, you know, living in Tennessee.
There's like a video of Brutus, face down, ass up, and I sent it.
Don't talk about my dog like that.
And I sent it to him the night they lost to Oregon, and
that's another thing. Anytime they play a good team, it's like 50-50 win or lose.
yeah,
Like he wants to give Tennessee a hard time about playing Arkansas. When you all actually play when Ohio State plays a schedule and not the YMCA of Columbus.
Oh, he'll say that too. He's like, the Big Ten, like top to bottom, is better than the SEC,
Which is just hilarious.
it's crazy.
Do I need to read off Rutgers' win-loss and their schedule? Because I can. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's no.
Butch Jones feasted on Big Ten, middle of the road Big Ten teams.
Sure.
Feasted on them. couldn't beat Vanderbilt to save his life. Feasted on Northwestern Nebraska. Who else is it? Jeremy Pruitt beat Indiana. Iowa? Yeah. No, that's crazy town.
Yep.
You can't say you can't talk trash about Tennessee and then say top to bottom the Big Ten's better, because the last 2 coaches Tennessee's had, their biggest wins have come against Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, try again. And those coaches sucked, by the way.
Horrible.
Recruiting. I do want to. I think we mentioned it on the Sunday show, but just in case we didn't, no matter your stance on storming the field, because I wasn't a fan of it. Also, don't care if you want to storm. Let's maybe try to get it out of our system sooner rather than later. But if you want to do it, whatever. If the recruits start it, I'm gonna always be all in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's what happened Saturday night in Knoxville at the number 7 ranked game day environment in the country.
Yeah. Before we get into recruiting, let's do an ad read real quick. Guys, we're excited to partner with Autograph, a fandom company co-founded by NFL legend Tom Brady. Their new app, Autograph, gives diehard fans like you a one-stop shop for all the best fan content for your favorite team. Obviously, that's the Vols. And reward you for doing what you're already doing as a fan. For example, you can listen to more important issues anywhere. But when you listen on the Autograph app, you earn coins that can be redeemed for amazing rewards, including free discounted and no-fee tickets, A-plus memorabilia and merch, and a one-of-a-kind experiences. Download the Autograph app in the App Store or Google Play Store today for free and use referral code ISSUES. That's ISSUES if you're bad at spelling like I am. That's referral code ISSUES, the Autograph app, where your fandom lives.
Go check them out.
Do it.
Autograph.
Also, guys, go check out Rowback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. It's getting hoodie season. I can't wait to wear my Rowback hoodie. And I wear the polos all the time to work because it's hot in the office. So I still wear polos during the wintertime. There's nothing wrong with that. Also have a quarter zip that I love. I love their joggers, their pants, everything they got. I just absolutely love. So go check them out. Rowback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. Also, it's about to be Christmas time. I know you're going to get those presents in. Go ahead and get them from Rowback.
Yeah. The best gifts anyone can give.
Do it.
Go check them out. Let's run through some recruiting real quick.
Do it.
Before we get to segments, hit me with them. Let's talk them all. I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the recruits kind of went ahead and started. I mean, it shows you like how into the game they were.
Yeah.
If they're willing to just they want it, let's go. I mean, there's recruits like trying to meet Josh Heupel at the 50. Like, that's how fired up they were.
We saw someone commit in the locker room. Did anyone commit at midfield? Because that would have been legendary.
That would have been awesome. I don't know. But Jaden Harmon was one of those guys that ran out on the field and, flipped from Alabama to Tennessee. Alabama was trying to get back in there, and he officially shut down his recruitment this weekend. And how can you not?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you look at that environment and be like, okay, that was awesome, and go to somewhere else and not be a little disappointed?
I think I said this on the Sunday show. I know I've said it to some people. I know there's a lot that goes into recruiting. It's not just like game day environment, best place to play ball, whatever. I would like to hear a recruit that didn't go to Tennessee that was here for a big game, like Alabama or Florida, one of those, something like that, and hear what did you almost come to Tennessee because of it? Did that factor? Like what? How did that play into your decision?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know how you can be there and not want to play at Tennessee.
Yeah.
I get that doesn't mean you're going to play at Tennessee, but.
And you got a few commitments right after that. Brandon Anderson, 2026 offensive lineman from North Cobb High School in Kennesaw, Georgia, 6'5", 335 pounds. My God. junior in high school.
Yeah, that's scary.
Don't know if it helped any, but having that pipeline there from that's where Joshua Joseph went to high school, so I'm sure that helped. And getting in on a guy early, I think before he committed wasn't even ranked, and now is ranked a 4-star. So I know that doesn't happen very often where your ranking goes up when you commit to Tennessee, but hey, maybe things are changing. But Tennessee lands 2026 offensive lineman Brandon Anderson out of the state of Georgia. Also has some Auburn was in there, LSU, Florida. So it got a bunch of big-time offers. And, I mean, I'm just speaking of big, my goodness. Yes, please. And then you have 2026 defensive lineman Tyson Bacon, who might have the best lineman name of all time.
Truly. Yeah, it's got to be up there.
Yeah,
we'll take some outside opinions, but it's got to be up there.
I mean, if he was probably a little bit heavier, probably like all-time offensive lineman name.
Right.
But playing D-line, I like it. Tyson Bacon. Originally from Warren, Michigan, in that Detroit area, and moved down to Hoover, Alabama, where he plays at Hoover High School. Ole Miss was in there, Georgia Tech, another kid that they kind of got in on early. And, if he's showing out at Hoover High School, probably going to be ranked pretty high at some point.
Yeah, benefit of playing there, for sure.
And then Isaiah Campbell hasn't committed, was committed to Clemson for a long time, is the number 5 defensive lineman in the country per On3 industry rankings. 2025, 6'3" and a half, 265 pounds out of Durham, North Carolina. Again, that's Isaiah Campbell. Was in on an official visit this weekend, and, things are kind of heading in the right direction there. It seems like that recruiting prediction machine keeps going up. So, loving that. Clemson is, we're getting recruits from Clemson. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, we've talked about it
the turns have tabled
before Tennessee started really improving under Josh Heupel. There's a pretty obvious, noticeable shift in the Clemson success when Tennessee started failing and vice versa. So, for sure.
Yep. Hitting those Carolinas and making the most of it. Yeah, it's kind of all I got for recruiting. I mean, I think what you said is good. Like, probably not end-all be-all when it comes to, like, that game. But I think it sets a standard when you go somewhere else for an environment and be like, I mean, that didn't even come close.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely helps winning that one. It's also helped that you've had 2 like really big weekends for recruits. Get a bye week, everybody kind of rest a little bit, and then you're about to have another one against Kentucky. So, you kind of had to wait until October to really get those recruits on campus because of your schedule. But now you're reaping the benefits of that, later on in this month. So,
yeah, for sure. Good steam, head of steam going for the Vols right now in recruiting. I know that's been a big point of emphasis for Josh Heupel and his crew. So,
yeah. Got some questions too. You want me to go ahead and get to those?
Yeah, let's hit them.
Okay. First one, what was the biggest difference in the second half of the game for the offense?
I really don't know if there's one thing. We kind of hit on that earlier about all the things that worked for Tennessee to allow them to be successful. Because, I mean, I don't think Tennessee's play calling was bad in the first half. Josh Pate said, and that's what I want to do on my next rewatch of that game. He said Tennessee had 24 points available in that first half. I don't know if there were that many, but I do think he's right that there were a lot of points available for Tennessee.
I mean, it's definitely 14 that first drive. You
Right.
fumble, you miss the wide open squirrel White. I mean, that's 14 right there.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I think there's plenty of points available there for Tennessee.
You missed 2 field goals. I mean, that's.
I already said I'd split those 50-50 because they were both 50 plus.
So that's 17.
Yeah, which there may be another one there too. So, but I do know there are a lot of points available. So I think they just hit on success rates better. Obviously, Nico being able to make some big throws helped.
Yeah.
No turnovers in the second half.
Yeah, I think mine was just it just seemed like there was a level of confidence in the second half. Whether that be just Nico, whether that be the offensive line, like everybody, it just finally clicked. Like you blocked well, you had a wide open receiver, you hit it. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like when Nico got out of pressure, juked a guy in the open field and ran for like 27 yards, that's when it's like, okay, I'm good. Like I have the talent and capability to play in this league. Like this is one of the biggest games I'll probably ever play in, and I'm okay. I can handle myself. It just seemed like there was a difference confidence level in that offense. And people started making plays. The running helped. It just seemed like we kind of leaned on that defense in the first half where it's like, hey, at some point we got to go make a play.
Yeah.
We got to go score. And it just seemed to finally click in that second half. Then we got from Posty says, who would you start the remainder of the year at wide receiver, and why is it Thornton, Brew, and Brazel?
They're the successful guys. So, I mean, they're the ones that are doing it. They're kind of carrying the weight.
Yeah.
I think with Squirrel banged up right now, I don't know what that's going to look like for him, but I think right now Tennessee has playoff hopes, and I think they can get there without Squirrel White right now.
Yeah.
Ideally not, but I think they can. Come back 100%. Like we need him to not play the next few games to have a chance to win in the playoffs. Playoffs.
And I don't know what that injury is. Is that at the end of the season you go have surgery kind of thing, or is it? I don't know.
Well, we don't even know what the injury is right now, correct?
I thought it's an AC joint.
Oh, they did say. Okay. Yeah. Which Jonathan called that. Said it's probably a season-ending surgery. Hopefully, I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's the thing, it's like if he's not helping, like, I mean, is it better just to shut him down? And I don't know. That's a probably score-wide decision right there. But
right.
It's if he's not giving you 100%, it's probably not best he's in the game. And, you know, I know Chris Brazel is an outside guy, but he looked perfectly comfortable in that slot on that catch that he made in the end zone.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, I'd like to see those three guys go. I'd also like to just see more guys. Like, I want to see Mike Matthews. And I think with all the injuries and stuff you had going on, like, you had a perfect opportunity to play him a little bit and see what happens, and you haven't. Like, you have not got him the football. He played, 5 snaps on Saturday. There is a huge benefit to play young players.
Yeah.
Look at defense. Keenan Peely gets hurt. If you hadn't played Jeremiah Teenlander the past 2 years, as much as you played him, he isn't ready to go against Alabama. But you have, so you don't really miss a beat. Like, it doesn't hurt that bad when you lose somebody because you have guys behind them that have played and got experience. If you lose a Brew McCoy for the year, I think you're hurt.
Yeah, right now, for sure.
So, I mean, I would just like to see, and you know, you're playing a young guy at quarterback. Deshaun Bishop's getting playing time at running back. Other than that, there is 0 young guys on offense.
Yeah, for sure.
0. So, I don't know. That would be my opportunity for the offense, is just play more guys when you get the opportunity to.
Yeah, that's what's been tough is you thought you'd get more in SEC play, and you haven't.
Yeah, and there's no way, like, I don't know what Mike Matthews looks like in practice, but there's no way it would be a huge drop-off at receiver if you put him in for a few plays and got him the football. See what you got.
Yeah, I thought he struggled getting off the line against Alabama, and that really hurt him. I mean, I think he's just – I said this the other night too. He right now is what I feared about Boo Carter, which didn't come true. I was wrong about. I think he's just got to improve strength-wise. Like, he's just got to be better at the line of scrimmage. I thought Boo would struggle in, playing up in the box like he does so much. Just, it's the SEC. It's very different than high school football.
Yeah.
And he's just got to get better at, right now everybody can just kind of jam him and take him out of the game. And he's got to get better about that. And I'm not saying he never gets off DBs, but I noticed it a few times against Alabama.
Kind of help that.
Playing time. Sure.
That and putting him in the slot.
That as well. They would be more inclined to not jam him.
I mean, and Boo Carter, if
I think did he played one play at the slot against Alabama, I think?
Oh, did he? I don't know.
Or maybe it was a switch route. He got put on his back one play, unfortunately.
Really?
I don't know. I might have been exaggerating. Put on his back, but he wasn't able to run a route.
Gotcha. But Boo Carter, he had to take probably some lumps. Now, he's played good.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to, he wasn't just like you're the starter now that Jordan Thomas got hurt.
Right.
And I think that's kind of helped him where now he is the starter.
Yeah.
And it's benefited him.
I want to see Mike Matthews play more still. I want to see him get the football. I mean, I think get the football in his hands. I mean, for example, another freshman that you talked about going into this week, wanting to see Mike Matthews, Ron Williams struggled with contact. But they still tried to find ways to get him the football.
I mean, they tried to force it.
And I'm not saying force it to Mike Matthews, but let's try to find ways to get him the football.
Kalen DeBoer said that they were not trying to force it to him.
Well, someone was.
They threw it to him 19 times.
They targeted him 19 times. So someone was forcing the football to him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Last one. Who is the first Power 4 coach fired this season?
All the ones that I thought would be have kind of escaped it enough.
It's got to be Mike Norvell, right?
You think he gets fired?
I mean, that is.
I feel like at this point they just wait till the end of the season, though. You don't think there's anyone fired before the end of the season?
I mean, maybe. I mean, my thing is you're going to lose those guys anyway.
Right.
To the portal, you might as well just go ahead and get it over with. And depending on what that buyout looks like. If it's significantly less at the end of the season, sure.
Right.
But if it's not, I would go ahead and cut ties.
Fair.
But I think Hugh Freeze seems like a guy that is getting closer and closer.
It's got to be.
I don't know about Billy Napier is obviously there, but they've played a little bit better the past couple weeks. Sam Pittman continues to just be hanging on by a thread. Shout out Tennessee for helping that one.
Right.
And then Venables, is that one that's
that might be a good one. He still feels like end of season guy if it happens, but maybe they pull the trigger earlier.
Is Lincoln Riley one?
Surely not.
They're a bad football team.
Yeah, but I don't think they can. They have too much kind of invested in that.
Yeah, I mean 6-6 with Caleb Williams is wow in the Pac-12.
Right.
I don't know. All right. That's all the questions I got. Anything else?
Yeah, quick stupidity. We talked about Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt, there are a large portion of people who think that cigar should only be lit by matches, buddy. They hand you matches. I don't know if he's ever bought a cigar, let alone smoked a cigar. Also, you made the Nick Saban's not on that other sideline, buddy, comment. I don't remember you saying anything about Butch Jones joining Nick Saban's sideline, not even as a coach, and smoking a cigar after beating Tennessee, where he got his skull drug by Nick Saban while he was there.
Yep.
I don't remember. So lay off the 18-year-old celebrating a rivalry win. Go after the grown man. He's 40. So Joel Klatt, you win. I mean, maybe Landon has one better, but I think you win the award this week.
That's a good one.
And you beat Chris Stewart because you had time to think about that take.
Yeah, I don't think this beats it, but I think it's up there, and it's really funny. Missouri getting bowl-bound T-shirts.
That's why. Little victories.
They just love T-shirts. I mean, anything they're
which I do get that. I'll say that. I get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough, man. Tough.
Yep.
Guys, appreciate you listening. We'll be back Sunday to recap a win over Idle.
Yep.
Making it happen. We're making Idle a thing.
Enjoy the bye week. Also, shout out to our followers. 30,000 followers on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. Appreciate y'all. We love you. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.